So now joined with the St. Mary's Gaels, picked to finish second in the West Coast Conference this year. Head coach Randy Bennett, center Harry Wessels, guard Mikey Lewis, and kind of to start with here, as you guys kind of get set to go, Mikey, we'll start with you. So many different opportunities are available for so many different guys, especially at the guard position. Who are some of those names that have kind of been owning the opportunity so far and kind of growing the most from your perspective?
I feel like all the guys really have. I've said it, I feel like a bunch today, but I mean, practice is really competitive. Like, you got to bring it every single day. So like Dan, Liam, Cade, Tony, like all the guys had just been like really getting after it every day in practice. And I feel like everybody's like really trying to be something.
Harry, for you, it's a little bit different now because you're expected to do big things now as the primary center. Obviously, you were backing up Mitchell Saxon over the last few years. How have you kind of owned the opportunity for yourself, knowing that obviously you still have a very capable center behind you and Andrew McKeever, but how have you kind of owned the moment and taken the challenge from what Coach Bennett and staff have laid down for you?
Yeah, just kind of put in the work in the summer, and even just over the last couple of years, I feel like it's just been a lot of work, and I think the reps has been important, just being able to play minutes, playing important minutes, and kind of growing that confidence, growing that sort of just knowing that I've done it before and can live up to those big moments has been key. And yeah, it's looking forward to it. What
has the man next to you challenged you most to do, and how successful have you been at that?
I think defensively is probably a key one at the moment. We kind of lost a big key interior defender with Saxon, and kind of having a big presence that can kind of anchor our defense is something we're going to need this season. And just trying to work on that every day.
For Coach Bennett, obviously, people will point to not having Augustus. People will point to not having Saxon anymore. But I feel like one of the under the radar storylines is who takes the role of emulating Luke Barrett, who takes on wanting to take on the best defensive assignment. Who are some of the guys that have embraced that challenge to you? And maybe are there people that are still kind of have to grow to earn that type of moniker?
Yeah, that's a great question. And Luke, we viewed Luke as one of our top 3 guys last year. We thought he was really valuable to us. We thought that before the season, during the season, and after the season. I feel like that today. And like who's going to fill that void? And I think it was what you said at the end. I think we're still trying to. We have some guys, but we're still trying to figure it out. But nobody's beating out at this time last year. Nobody was beating out Luke, and we don't have that feeling right now. And some guys will grow into it. I mean, 2 of the guys are freshmen that would be trying to compete for that. Kevin Gadd is in there, and Liam Campbell and Rory Hawk. So we have some good guys there, but somebody's got to have to step up because the guy was ridiculous, competitor, rebounder, worker. And the biggest thing we're going to have to replace, not only his, but those 3 seniors' leadership. And these 2 guys right here are going to do it with the help of some others. But that too, you have to get reps at to do it. And so they're getting reps right now, and they've had reps this spring and summer. And they knew what was coming, and they're getting there. We're getting there.
I mean, it feels like over the last 5 or so years, I mean, you've had 2 big senior classes. I mean, you turn the clock back to Logan, Kyle, and Dukas, and then you get this past year Saxon, Augustus, and then Barrett. That's a lot of leadership and a lot of defense that you've had to replace. Just kind of talking a little bit about just the maturation that these 2 have had, and then some of the other returners have had, Paulus and whatnot, in stepping into these new roles, because to an extent, I mean, it's kind of unusual even from the past year. You've had the player of the year and the defensive player of the year for 2 straight years. And so replacing those obviously is a big lift, but so how have some of these guys kind of started to step in on a leadership front?
Yeah, you could go back a lot of years, and that's kind of how it's happened in our program. And we returned 10 guys from last year's team. So there's 10 guys that were part of that and saw it and know what it looks like, know what it takes to do that. And you have to have that for guys to grow into those type of leaders and players. And these are 2 of our 3 that played a lot last year. So of our top 7 guys, these 2 and Paulus would be those guys. And that's quite a few, having 3 of those guys, 3 of your top 7 back. And so, but they won't get there until they get the reps. They get games. They're getting them now, and they're getting these exhibitions, and all that stuff is what develops leadership. Now they're counting on. They got to deliver. When the going is tough, they got to step up. They got to say the right things. They know what it looks like, and they know what it's supposed to. The leadership component that goes with that, they know what that looks like too. And so that's where we're at. That's exactly where we're at as a team, and we're getting there, and other guys. But having 10 back from a team that won 29 games and wins the tournament, and won the league, and those types of things, some of them been in there multiple years. So it all helps, and that's how you lay the foundation in a program.
I mean, looking at the team coming in, I think the one spot that seemed a little bit unclear was point guard, because you take Augustus Marcialonis out. He had solidified that spot for 2 years, and typically we're used to seeing like a junior or senior kind of ready to step into the role or whatnot. And right now it's kind of like it's Josh Dent. It's a collection of like Mikey and Tony Duckett, whoever is going to be filling in those guard spots. How have you kind of seen like the maturation on the point guard role? Because we're so used to seeing Augustus and Tommy Kuzi and like guys who are like prototypical point guards and senior point guards, and that's something that is going to be different this season.
100%, and that's one of my questions. All right, how are we going to replace Augustus? But you know what? Augustus' first 2 years, he was just a guy, and then he kept working. The second half of his second year, he started coming around, and then he went player of the year. So that's how it happens. You got to eventually get the reins, and then you got to do it. Mickey McConnell, same story. His first 2 years, played some for us, then he got the ball went in his hands, and we went to Sweet 16. So I just have to keep reminding myself that's how it happens. All right, Mikey's in that position now as a guard, but as a scorer and as a leader all in one. That's pretty early for a sophomore, but that's how it happens. This guy's ready. He started doing what Gustus did last year, second half of the year, and so he's got to be a guy. He gets 20 minutes. McKeever's going to have to be one of those guys for us, and they can, but they need those game reps. You got to have the game reps. We can only do so much in practice, and then you got to do it when the lights are on, and that gives you real confidence. So that's where we're at. That's what we're getting through, and it's never easy.
Mikey, for you, how's the combination of guards kind of balanced out well and kind of made yourselves better? Obviously yourself, Josh Dent, Tony Duckett, some others that maybe we're underrating and not naming right now. How have the guards kind of like balanced each other out to make you guys the best version of yourself so far?
Just everybody in their like different play styles. Like we know like me and TD are trying to go get one. Dan is as steady as it comes. He knocks down shots. He's gonna like control the thing. Same with Cade. So just like seeing everybody's different sort of play styles and seeing how we can mesh it up all together to be the best possible team that we can be. It's been fun, and I think we're gonna continue that. And yeah.
What did Coach Bennett and staff kind of challenge you to improve on the most over the course of the offseason, and how successful do you believe you have been in meeting that challenge?
The two things that come to mind the most are my leadership and then getting my body right. So getting bigger and stronger. I met the goals on the getting bigger and stronger part, still coming along every day on the leadership piece, but just trying to emulate what I saw my freshman year from 3 really great leaders.
Coach Bennett, going back to you, we've seen different teams in this league take different approaches to scheduling. USF playing at Chase Center, Gonzaga playing at Spokane Arena and Climate Pledge. Has there ever been any consideration of going to Oracle Arena, Golden One Center, and kind of the balance of what it takes to make those types of decisions and weighing the pros and cons of doing so?
We've never thought about. Oh, we've thought about it. We've never gone to Oracle. We went to Chase one year and played Nevada. It's a pretty good ride for us. It's not like a home game. So I don't know. It's not something that I'm that interested in. What I am interested in is playing good teams, and so we'll continue to figure out ways to play. Find the power fours and play them. That's how we can strengthen our schedule. Our non-conference, I mean, we're not in charge of our non-conference. The other programs in our league are responsible for their programs. They have to be good for it to be a good strength of schedule. So we can't control those. We can control that non-conference schedule, and that's why we try not to play. We try not to play any dogs. And we'll even double down on that more now. Gonzaga's out of the league after this year, so we'll double down on that to find the toughest games that we can get on a neutral court or a home court. Try and stay away. We have to do a home and home, away and home. We'll do that, but that's kind of where I'm at. I know where we're at, what we need to do, and that's I don't want to say adjustment, but that's something we have to double down on, is play the good teams as much as you can in non-conference.
I've been asking the more tenured coaches in this league about, college athletics seems more transactional year over year. No 2 days are the same in this industry. What continues to motivate you to want to come back and coach these guys like the two people here right next to you? What motivates you to kind of uphold that standard and try and build a team of young men and a good basketball team alongside it?
Yeah, it's my passion. That's what I like to do. I've never done anything else, and I really never felt like I've had to work a day in my life as far as a real job. So it's been good for me. You love the kids. You love to see them develop. What we were just talking about is exciting to me and our staff. Is like all of a sudden you see there's just a moment, and all of a sudden Maggie Lewis is going left. He didn't go left. Now he's going left. He made a left-hand layup. And then all of a sudden you see, hey, you can keep guys in front of him. Those little steps, they happen. You don't know exactly when they're going to happen. You probably see them in practice first, but then all of a sudden they're in the games. They're part of their game, and that's how guys improve. This guy, all of a sudden it just started happening last year. And so that's what excites me. That's what makes it fun.
Harry, at what point did it sort of click for you last year at some point? Of was there a certain moment when in middle of conference play where it was like, oh, I finally get it? Or was it the Oregon State game? Because there were definitely some key moments where it felt like that you started to piece it all together. Was it in one moment, or was it kind of gradual as you kind of went on through the season?
Yeah, it kind of felt like around that time when conference started to start, it was just like there was a couple of games where I think maybe things weren't going as well as I would have liked before that, but I think I kind of just kept it simple for myself and just focused on a few key things where I could really control. And I think that first thing was defensively. I think the first game I can really think about was that we played at Washington State, and I kind of helped us out defensively, and then just you just do little things that can help grow your confidence, and from there you can kind of gets a little easier maybe, but you don't think about it too much. I think it's just like a culmination of work that's gone into it. But yeah.
Now, one of the things we got to see a lot last year was using that double big, you and Mitchell playing together a lot. Obviously, we probably expect to see you and Andrew playing a little bit together as well, using that kind of similar combination. When that started happening last year, was that how much practice, how much had you been working on that before it was actually implemented? And then and how long did it take before you felt this is clicking and this is working with the two of us together on the court?
We did it in practice. I think even in that off season before season started, we did it a little bit where we played me and Sachs. We didn't really. I think once we played at Oregon State and Polis got hurt, and then we really went to it for a good portion of the game, and that's kind of when I felt like not that I didn't feel like it wouldn't work before, but it was kind of that was when I felt like it was really comfortable in that sort of situation, and it could work really well.
And I mean, thinking about that, that big rotation, we did get to see moments of McKeever really starting to kind of step up. And think back to the Utah game where he had a couple of those solid minutes. Obviously, he didn't get a ton of playing time early on, but we got to see a bit more of him in the Arizona exhibition the other day. Randy, kind of talk about a little bit just his maturation and what he's going to be able to bring, kind of in that backup role, or just the minutes that he's going to be able to get in the game.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call him a backup. I think we'll play these two together for sure. I think they're both starter type players. Yeah, he's in there. He's in there as one of our top 6. And I thought last year he was ready. He actually got ready to play, but we ended up going with Harry was a little bit better. We went with Saxon and Harry, and it's just hard to play 3 of them. You can play 2 of them, but 3 of them is just. And dude, our 4 was pretty good. Paulus was a good player, but
I mean, Mitchell can make threes apparently. So
yeah,
he made the one.
He go 1 for 1. He's a driller. But yeah, that's where it's at. He's ready to go. He's definitely ready to go. So he'll get better as he gets more minutes, just like Harry's getting better and will get better this year. I think Harry will have a really good year.
All right, 2 non-basketball related questions to close us out, Mikey. If for you, who has the aux and what are they playing?
Nobody has the aux. We're all two different.
Really?
But I think our common ground that we've been slowly coming to, it's mostly been me coming around, is getting into like house music a little more.
Okay.
So I'd probably say I have aux just because I'm a little more diversified. I'll go a little bit of everybody sort of thing, but like nobody for sure. Paul is listening to like Lithuanian rap. Nobody knows what is being said. I'm listening to regular rap. They don't want to hear that. The Australians, you guys, they love their house music. So just kind of like diversifying it up a little bit. That's why we're a big headphone team.
So Harry, I assume that you guys are going to get some strobe lights in the gym very soon and we'll have a nice little concert in there?
Yeah, no, I haven't pitched the idea yet, but we'd have to talk to Rory and Dent about that one. They're really into it, but yeah. Sure.
The last one I have is maybe you guys don't know the answer to this yet, but who's the class clown of the St. Mary's Gaels this year?
It's a top 3. It would be me, Jazz Gardner, and Trent McLean. It's tight race.
Tight race. Coach Bennett, you can confirm this?
I'm not in there for all these locker room discussions, but if they say that's what it is, that's what it is. There's a number of them that are pretty funny.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the St. Mary's Gaels pick to finish 2nd in the West Coast Conference this year. We look forward to covering you guys throughout the year. Wish you best of luck, best of health, and let's go have a good season, fellas.
Thank you.
Yep.
Appreciate it.